What people are saying is it had to do with Jan 6, it had to do with a lot of things. At the end of the day, I think that would cause so much mayhem. That would be a monstrous mistake. I also just don't understand. He was cooperating. They had been on premises prior. He had had a subpoena that they coordinated effort with his team to come in. They told us to lock it up. They locked it up. So why? Why did you need, after 2 months, to have this insane raid? You know, it's a sad thing for our country. It just doesn't make sense to me. As an attorney, I can't make sense of it.
Now look, I'm no lawyer. I didn't pass the bar exam. I didn't go to law school, but I've got a functioning brain, and so I understand that maybe you don't want to go on TV and lob a thinly veiled threat at the Justice Department if they were to criminally charge your client. Just, you know, for starters. This is Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, and when she says on television that any decision to charge Trump would, quote, cause so much mayhem, I don't think there's a sane person on this planet who doesn't understand what she's trying to do. In fact, part of the reason she and her client are in this mess in the first place is because the former president couldn't stop using violence as a tool to achieve his political ends. And so when his lawyer responds with efforts to hold him accountable by showing up on air and suggesting that mayhem would ensue if he is held accountable, is nothing more than an effort by the Trump team to continue using violence to get what they want. Someone, please, find Susan Collins and ask her if Trump has learned his lesson yet. And what makes this even worse is that this isn't even the only time that Habba's come out on air making thinly veiled threats. Amid worries from inside Trump world that there was a mole helping the FBI as they executed their search warrant, here's Trump's lawyer going on TV and demanding that the FBI uncover any witnesses who assisted in this investigation.
The president's position, the same as what I would advise him, is to ask them to uncover everything so that we can see what is going on. I understand the witness protection issue, but at the same time, these witnesses are truly not going to be concealed for very long. That's just not the nature of the DOJ and the FBI.
And why do this? Well, first, so that they can ruin the life of anyone who may have helped law enforcement's investigation. That's what the right does. They need a villain to distract from their own villains. That's why in August of 2022, they are still talking about Hillary Clinton, because so long as they have a boogeyman, they're hoping that those people will take the attention off of the criminals on their own side. And second, and more importantly, it is to serve as a warning for anyone else looking to come forward and assist law enforcement against Trump. Because God forbid the Trump team even try to pretend that they're not using mob tactics. And let's be clear, this comes from the top. As far as witness intimidation and witness tampering are concerned, it shouldn't come as any surprise why Habba feels so comfortable in this space, considering this is the guy she works for.
After our last hearing, President Trump tried to call a witness in our investigation, a witness you have not yet seen in these hearings. That person declined to answer or respond to President Trump's call and instead alerted their lawyer to the call. Their lawyer alerted us, and this committee has supplied that information to the Department of Justice. Let me say one more time, we will take any effort to influence witness testimony very seriously.
What do you say to Democrats that say you were witness tampering this morning when you made that tweet?
You don't want to talk about transparency?
Well,
I'll talk about transparency. I like transparency here, and I'm the most transparent president in history. And I'll tell you about what tampering is. Tampering is when a guy like Shifty Schiff.
Evidence concerning this sequence of events could support an inference that the president used inducements in the form of positive messages in an effort to get Cohen not to cooperate, and then turn to attacks and intimidation to deter the provision of information or to undermine Cohen's credibility once Cohen began cooperating.
I believe that's accurate.
Okay, and in my view, if anyone else in America engaged in these actions, they would have been charged with witness tampering. We must enforce the principle in Congress that you emphasize so well in the very last sentence of your report, which is that in America, no person is so high as to be above the law. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
And 2 days after you told the court that Manafort broke his plea agreement by lying repeatedly, did President Trump tell the press that Mr. Manafort was, quote, very brave because he did not flip? This is page 128 of volume 2.
If it's in the report, I support it as it is set forth.
Thank you. Director Mueller, in your report, you make a very serious conclusion about the evidence regarding the president's involvement with the Manafort criminal proceedings. Let me read to you from your report. Evidence concerning the president's conduct toward Manafort indicates that the president intended to encourage Manafort to not cooperate with the government. It is clear that the president both publicly and privately discouraged Mr. Manafort's cooperation or flipping, while also dangling the promise of a pardon if he stayed loyal and did not share what he knew about the president. Anyone else who did these things would be prosecuted for them. We must ensure that no one is above the law.
And the words are all the same. You are loved, right? You are in our corner. Remain in our corner. We will take care of you.
What is he saying when he says he's on you, thinking about you, looking at you?
Yeah, he's trying to be like a mob boss. He's throwing his arms around you and telling you you're protected. I'm the president of the United States of America. I'm the most powerful man on the planet. Either you stay on my side or you will suffer from my ire.
So yeah, can't imagine why Trump's lawyer could possibly be trafficking in similar threats. One of life's great mysteries. The fact is that the guy accused of acting like a mob boss isn't going to stop acting like a mob boss because he got caught. He's going to continue acting like a mob boss to get out of what he was caught for. We should stop expecting him to act differently and start holding him accountable for how he is acting right now. Before you go, couple things. First, if you want to support my work, the best way is to subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. And second, if you want to see and hear more from me, check out my website, briantylercohen.com. That way you can get links to my podcast, merchandise, ways to donate to voting rights organizations, and so much more. The thumbnail is also right here on the screen, so go check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching.